In this video, we're going to be ranking signs that you have elite genetics, from God-gifted all the way down to not a sign at all.
These are going to be some indicators that you might have great genetics, and it's a sign that you should be getting in the gym right fucking now to not waste your potential.
Also, if you want a more in-depth, personalized analysis of your genetics and your key strong points and weak points, body fat percentage, and everything you need to know, we just opened Physique analyses, so you can just drop photos in there, training experience, and we will personally analyze your physique, give you the strong points, weak points, everything you need to do to improve, and what to do moving forward. Now, the first one is if you have lots of veins, especially before you started the gym. Everyone knew that one guy in the class that would always just show off all his forearm veins. So veins are mainly caused by two things: muscle mass and low body fat percentage. Because having muscle mass will push the veins further towards the surface, and then having lower body fat will make the layer between your skin, your subcutaneous fat, and your veins thinner. So is this a sign that you have good genetics? Well, it can be a sign that you're an ectomorph and you naturally have a little bit more muscle mass. Now, it could also mean that you're just malnourished and you're extremely dangerously low body fat. And I think that was most kids in school that were just extremely lean. Now, this could also be a slight sign that you have higher testosterone. I mean, just think about like the soy boys, the Discord mods. Even if they're not high body fat, they've just got like soft features overall.
Yeah. It's also due to a high red blood cell count and having lots of blood flow in the area. If you take something like L-citrulline, that will increase the blood flow, therefore increasing the visibility of your veins. I'll probably put it in a good sign.
Next, we have starting skinny, or you could call it being an ectomorph. Originally, I thought this was a really bad thing as it was super hard to put on weight and you had to just always eat. But later now, I'm starting to think it's a blessing because all the most aesthetic guys started skinny. And I would rather struggle to eat more than have to struggle to eat less.
I think the case for these guys is that it's just going to take a little bit longer. And we are the poster boys for starting skinny. I mean, we were emaciated. We looked like aliens, especially because we had an early growth spurt. I mean, this doesn't even look like an arm, it looks like a wrist.
But I'm just gonna honestly put this as lucky as fuck, especially later down the line when you get older. It makes it way easier to just stay in shape in general.
Next, we have having jacked parents. This is me next to my dad, and I still managed to worm my way out of my genetics. But if you do have jacked parents, that is a phenomenal sign. It's an A-grade sign that you have great muscle building genetics.
Yeah, I mean, when we're talking about genetics, this is your genetics. Like, that is your genetics. You have your parents or your grandparents' genetics. So I'm gonna have to put this in God-gifted because it pretty much seals your fate.
Next, we have having thick wrists. So this is due to you just having better bone density, having more of like a dense build.
There's actually a test online. It's called the Casey butt test. And this is like measuring your ankles and your wrist, and that's supposed to determine how much muscle mass you could put on naturally. I don't think it's 100% accurate, but I think it's like a decent correlation, and it does make sense. I mean, the skinniest guys and guys with the skinniest wrists are like massive ectomorphs and are hard gainers. I'm gonna put this into good sign.
Next, we have starting off fat. So this is the case for most of our clients and most of the guys we train. They start off around that like 20 to 25 body fat percentage. This is not a bad place to start, and I say that because usually you have a better baseline level of muscle mass, and all you have to do is just strip away the fat, which can be pretty easily done on an aggressive cut and with the right information and the right coaches like us.
Yeah, I think the main problem and the reason people think it's such a bad thing is because they just have a terrible approach towards getting in shape. What they'll try to do is put on muscle, they'll try to recomp, or they'll just dilly-dally around the middle. What needs to happen is they need to get rid of the fat, just cut, not worry about being skinny, and then you can go through a gaining phase there. I think if you have the right approach, being fat can almost be slightly a blessing depending on how bad it is because of loose skin.
Like, their nutrition efficiency just isn't as good. They have a harder time absorbing nutrients and just sticking to a cohesive diet in general. I'll probably put it in.
It's not a sign that you have good genetics at all, really. I mean, I just kind of feel bad. All right, next we have having wide clavicles or just a good frame in general.
Yeah, if you're a frame cell, it's honestly over. I think just hide in your room.
This Sam Zier guy is the perfect example. I mean, I saw this guy when he's like, I'm going to start lifting weights, and then like 2 weeks later, he looks like this. It's absolutely ridiculous. This is a combination, though, of like great muscle insertions and great muscle bellies, but I think it's mainly the frame that carries him.
I mean, yeah, the frame pill is a real thing. I don't actually think you should hide in your room. I think you should spam lateral raises, but when you see a guy with truly wide clavicles, it just looks phenomenal, and it looks far better than someone that just doesn't have these. But the good thing is you can kind of work around it. But if you have wide clavicles, this is a great sign. You are God's gift, to be honest.
Alright, next we have being African. So I'm not actually trolling here. Like, this is actually a sign that you have great muscle building genetics. Who was it? I think it was Lee Priest actually said that there should be a different division for African bodybuilders just because they have such an advantage. This is due to multiple factors, mainly just due to like the way they evolved based on their environment. They just have way fuller muscle bellies, way rounder muscle bellies, better insertions, better V taper, even better athletic genetics, more type 2 muscle fibers.
I mean, these guys a lot of the time look better stock than I will ever look. But not all Africans have good genetics. That's the first thing I'm going to see in the comment section.
It's just as widespread as anyone else. However, there is some parts of Africa where like Nigerians are just, they just have such an easy time at building muscle. Even like testosterone genetics come into play there as well. I'm going to put this into lucky as fuck.
Next, we have round or full muscle bellies. This is a phenomenal sign, and it basically just means you're going to look way bigger than you really are. You're just going to get a way better ROI in the gym, to be honest.
I think it happens a lot with like European guys as well. Like me and Nelson especially, we have really like tight, flat muscle bellies where the muscles are very dense. Like I can get pretty strong, but they just don't look as full as some guys, Asians, Africans as well. They just have much fuller muscle bellies, and this is also due to like the climate that they evolved in. Having fuller muscle bellies is better for dissipating heat. Europeans are able to conserve heat better. It's a whole evolutionary reason towards that. Just to think of like a balloon that's just inflated. I'm gonna put this into lucky as fuck.
Next, we have just being strong naturally. So people comment about your strength. In comparison to your friends, you're just a little bit stronger and you've never lifted. This is a great sign that you just have better genetics, possibly better bone density, and just great potential for being really strong.
And also when you do get into the gym, that strength is going to come in handy massively because you're going to be lifting overall more volume, which is going to lead to more muscle gain. I want to put in a good sign though, because there are guys that started strong and then they just don't progress as quickly.
Yeah.
Next, we have perfect symmetry. So this is just having overall like great composition, like everything's in a really aesthetic spot. Everything flows nicely. Like you give the bodybuilder judges like an orgasm when you step on stage. Think of Lee Priest, like look at his abs, look at the lats, look at the biceps. Like everything is just so symmetrical and just pleasing to the eye. No ditty.
If you ever look at your physique and you can't pinpoint like what's off, but something just feels off, you got like body dysmorphia, a lot of the time it is symmetry, man. And it's unfortunate because it can be very genetic, and when we're analyzing people's physiques and they tell their story like I just hate the way I look, I can often see that they have pretty poor symmetry.
Most of the time it's not fixable unless it's like an actual muscle imbalance, but I mean it's not going to inhibit you from growing muscle at all. So I'm just going to put this into a good sign in terms of aesthetics. Finally, we have actual muscle insertion. So if you look at Arnold here, you can look at his chest insertions. There is no gap in the middle there, and they're just so squared off, and they insert perfectly. Compare that to someone like Terry Crews. This is massive for aesthetics. Very similar to the symmetry and muscle bellies thing. It's not something you can necessarily control.
Yeah, I mean, if we're talking about someone who has terrible muscle insertions to someone who has phenomenal muscle insertions, you have to say it was God-gifted, really.
Yeah, I'm just going to put this into lucky as fuck because this can like honestly determine a lot of the time your actual aesthetics despite your muscle mass. That's pretty brutal, but I mean, we don't cope here.
That's it, guys. That was our cope-free ratings. Let us know if you would agree with this and how you would reorder it. But please don't think if you don't have any of these great signs and you've got, bad muscle building genetics, don't think it's over. It's never over. Like, I literally thought that it was impossible for me to build a good physique, and here we are today. I'd say it's pretty reasonable considering from where I started. And if that's you, if you're having trouble building a physique right now, you're kind of lost, you don't know whether you should bulk, cut, you just don't have a game plan going forward, flick us a message on Instagram or just go to that first link in the description. You can book a free consultation call with us. You can just have a chat with us and we can talk to you about a game plan going forward and how we can build you that AAA physique.
With that being said, let us know what you thought we should rank these. Ready, I'm predicting this. There'll be a lot of comments about the wide clavicle one and how Phil Heath didn't have wide clavicles.
Hope away in the comments. See you in the next one.
Peace.